Hello all, welcome aboard here. We're going to go over today how to use surety maps to create boundaries for AgVerdict. This is something that Lonnie Adams over in Clay Center and I have been working on today, and we are getting help from Alan Heigl there in Clay Center to use his surety account so that I can show those of you who have access to a surety account how to download boundaries out of that software and then upload them into the Wilbrella software AgVerdict. So we'll go ahead and get started with that. So the surety system is a very popular software that a lot of folks use to create work orders and spray recommendations, boundaries, maps. A lot of the same stuff that AgVerdict uses, but not the same functionality with reports or integration with WECO information. So I'm here under Alan's login for today, just using that. There are options if you don't have a surety login. I would maybe suggest taking a look at what that 7-day trial could get you. I think a lot of boundaries could be downloaded in 7 days if you did decide to just do the trial and try to download boundaries as a grower farm folder hierarchy, and then take those later and input them into AgVerdict. That would save time so that you could make sure you got as many boundaries downloaded as possible in that 7 days. Just a thought. So hopefully you guys can take this and make it your own. So if upon logging in, this is the screen that it takes me to. I am here in Surety, and what I'm going to want to do is explain and show kind of what the different options are that we're going to need. We've got options here on the left for boundary selection, map moving, the export functions, and also a search function for finding where we need to go. So for starters, I'm going to go ahead and use this search option and find a boundary of mine that is that I use for testing and purposes like this. So again, I'm going to go to the search option. We've got a lat and longitude option, some other options in here, a township section option that you could use if that's easier for you. I'm going to use the address function today. I think there'll be equal numbers of folks that like both functions, but if I just type in, put in Kansas and then start to type in the city name, of course if you're somewhere other than Kansas you're going to want to choose your corresponding state. From there just hit enter the address for this farm and then hit locate, and it'll take me right to that address. This is the Hauser Farms address, and the section that I would like to look at is here behind the farm. So I'm going to use these functions. I'm going to click on zoom out to move away from that a little bit, and then click the pan option to be able to bring this field into view. And zoom in a little bit by rolling in on my cursor. So from this point we're ready to start selecting fields. I want to click on this drawing option on the left, and then I want to select Smart Select. From here it really becomes very easy. I just want to start clicking on the boundaries that I want, and you'll notice that as I click on them it continues to add them to my query really. So I can continue to select those, and that looks like all of them. So from here I'm going to go up to File and select Export. The option I want to choose here is the very top one for the selected and drawn boundaries, and I want those to come out as borders. Make sure that we use this one and not the KML. The KML is a file that Google Earth views, and in the case that you would want to upload files for your farm into Google Earth, you'd have that option by using this. But today we want the shapefile because that's what what AgVerdict recognizes. So after selecting that, I'm going to hit export, and then after this pop-up comes up, I imagine if this does not appear, there will be a pop-up blocker emblem show up here in the top right of your browser. Just click on that and allow pop-ups for Surety maps. So after that, click download zip file, bring this guy up, and I'm going to save it to my desktop so it's easy to find. And I want to give it Hauser bound test. There we go. And I want to save that. Alright, so now from here we can see that it's begun downloading in the bottom left of my Google Chrome page. Now it's completed. I'm going to hit the menu button on the right and tell it to show me in folder. So here's my folder. Everyone should have AgVerdict downloaded on their computer. So from here you want to right click on that file, give it a second, and then I want to go up here to this AgVerdict function and then select extract to, and it will open that file in the AgVerdict folder after I click extract. And there they are. Those are my 4 boundary files for that field. I'm going to go ahead and minimize that, pull this guy up and to the right to bounce it in, and then I'm ready to go to AgVerdict. So I'm going to make this guy a little bit smaller so we can see it. And now I'm going to go to a boundary that I've already created and plug this into that. There we go, Jeremy Hauser. Open up my farm. We want to go into this Surety how-to field. Open it up. This is the same steps that you would go through to enter them in. Click boundary mapping, create new boundary, and then upload from shapefile. So from here, I've got this option down here now. If you don't see that, it may be because you have the drawn manually option chosen, but we want this upload. So now here on the right, I'm going to click the corresponding folders after hitting Control. So I'm going to hit Control on my keyboard and then start to select these folders. Now I've got them all selected. I can click on them and drag them over to this box and drop files inside of there. Now I want to upload those files, and there we go, they're uploaded successfully, and now I want to hit Next. Okay, we can see that only one of the files came through, so that really throws me off. Okay. So I'm not sure what happened there, but we can go right back to Surety, and what I'm going to do, looks like I need to, this is probably an issue that you guys may encounter also, so it's good to have this in there. Go ahead and log out and log back in. And I'm going to continue through this without as much explanation so that maybe you guys can see how the steps will look once you get into it and start getting more familiar with it, and maybe um, better at more fluent with it, and show you just how fast it can be created. Alright, it's broken up pretty well. It looks like we should have them all now. So I'll go back up and export them again. Okay, and there they come in. Go ahead and open that up. Show in folder. Extract to AgVerdict. And there they go. So, close that. Bring him up here and open up AgVerdict again, and we're just going to go back in and create a new boundary there. Same options as before. Now you'll notice that when I close the last boundary I uploaded, I didn't hit save, I just hit cancel on it so that it would delete it and allow me to upload a boundary from a shapefile. So from here I'm going to drag and select them this time, and then click and drag to drop them. Upload, hit next. Let's see what we have this time. And that is what we're shooting for. Alright, so you'll notice that some of these old property lines still come through on this boundary, and those aren't necessarily what we're going to want, right? So there's a trick that I wanted to show everyone today. If all you wanted to know is how to get them in there and you can edit them yourself, that's fine, but if you'd like to see some of the tricks that I use when I'm editing boundaries, please stick around. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on this boundary to start, and now what I want to do is hit my edit button, select this boundary and totally get rid of it. Click on the one on the right and start to slide that boundary over. Now, thinking outside of the box a little bit, I'm going to select the polygon function and zoom in here a little bit more, and then actually click inside, or yeah, just to the outside of this point, and start to follow this waterway up. And I'm not worried about crossing this boundary at this point, because what I'm going to do now is tell it. So I've got it in there, and I'm going to double click, and it's going to ask me these three options: if I want to get rid of it and discard it, if I want to exclude it, and if I exclude it, it will add this boundary on the inside of my boundary as an exclusion, or if I want to include it. And today I want to include it. What this is going to do is follow that line where I created it and put in a whole new boundary there. I still want to edit it and right click and delete these vertexes that I don't necessarily need, but other than that, that part's done. So from here, looks like we've got some issues going on, but you know, that's going to happen wherever you're at, so just go ahead and grab those bubbles and scoot them over. There we go, zoom out a little bit, and the rest of that looks pretty good. I think I could edit some things in there, but as far as the main part of it, it looks like we're in pretty good shape. We've got no issues there. It looks like those have gone away, so that's cool. And from there, we've got a pretty sweet boundary. And there you have it, guys. The ability to move your boundaries out of Surety and put them into AgVerdict. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions. Now you should be able to edit and check those out. I may be sending another video out to explain the use of blocks, so look forward to that. Maybe show off some cool features with your abilities to use the block function to create waterways and other boundaries without having to map them out. So good luck. I hope this helps. Let me know if you need anything. Oh, and also be sure to hit save.